Thank you, Lionsgate Film, for the seizure. Appreciate that. Proof Marvel's logo has always been full of itself, in case you confused it with Tampa, Virginia. Though I admit this is a weak-ass, nondescript skyline.
Mr. Astroff's trust is not gained easily.
Frank Castle took German accent lessons from Sacha Baron Cohen. Sandals, that's how gangsters do it Tampa style.
What is this?
This guy's acting like someone just threw him a surprise party. None of these bad guys noticed the total lack of blood on Frank Castle's entirely white suit during this fake shooting. His playing dead skills are on par with his playing German skills. This FBI SWAT team lets Mickey crawl over to Bobby's dead body, giving him enough time to grab his gun that is inexplicably next to his face. The taking of this dead guy's pulse will require both my fingers and my ears. He's only just now getting out of the body bag, even though everyone around him knows he's actually a cop, and not dead. Totally could have unzipped him in the ambulance.
But we beat the spread.
This isn't football.
It's a figure of speech.
Frank Castle doesn't understand how idioms work. Happy and jovial retirement party mere minutes after Frank found out he'd killed some people tonight. Good timing.
The finest soldier, the finest undercover op, the finest man I've ever known.
I guess they'll just look past his overacting at the shipyard, but I sure as hell won't.
Bail him out. Bring him to the club.
Bail who out? And bring him to wow, who cares? Driving a very conspicuous car near the scene of a deadly shootout straight to the crime boss's club is not a good way to go about gangster business. Given that these guys are brutal gangster types, 3 swift kicks to the gut doesn't seem like too bad of a punishment for getting the boss's son killed.
And I don't want the karma of your death on my soul.
Of all the things he's probably done and will do in this movie that will plague his soul's karma, why is this where he draws the line? Only one man can play Tampa's biggest crime boss, and that man is John Travolta. Another gratuitous misdirection that seems to only exist for us, the viewers. That's a pretty convincing flinch for a dead person. It's very convenient that this guy who just got killed doesn't bleed. That really makes the cleanup easy. How did she know he was there? Her husband's senses must be tingling. Both these assholes leave the door to their home wide open, like it's not a welcome mat to bees, flies, spiders, raccoons, and other pests.
London's a safe place where we can all be together.
It's also way, way better than Tampa.
You're such a special boy.
Dead body petting.
You identifying this body as your son, Robert Saint?
This seems like an awkward time to ask this question, unless they have been standing there for 30 minutes and Howard has just been rambling about his son and this guy just wants to go home.
Do you know that I used to have to dress him till he was 13? I would tie his ties, comb his hair.
This speaks more to your failure as a parent than it does anything else. In case you confused it with Agua de la Bay, Utah.
You and I, we're not lucky. We are blessed.
What's the difference, really? This classified file on Frank Castle shows at least 4 previous countries of residence, but only 1 car. Does he take this car with him all over the globe? Or is this a half-assed report? Also, does no one in the Department of Justice spell check? Neighborhood is 1 word. Passport is not capitalized. Buenos Aires is not a place, but it is a great country club for people born from March 20th to April 19th.
His family. His whole family.
Okay then, just so we're clear, no one in this movie is a good guy except Frank Castle, soon to be widower. Everyone else is a dickhole. It's pretty convenient for the Saints that Frank is at a family reunion when they send their minions in to kill his entire family. First of all, this guy just flings the door open hoping for the best. Second of all, this shotgun blast to the chest throws this man an incredible distance, instead of doing what it would actually do, embed shotgun pellets in his chest. They managed to shoot the salad, but not the salad bowl. Alright, that's 2 of their guys down. How are we doing? The entire family's been killed? Well, Also, in what universe is this a good idea? These are guys with automatic weapons swarming this place. They have no cover, and I guess she's just hoping that the keys are still in the Jeep. I guess since her husband is away so much, he couldn't impart some basic safety knowledge to her, so let me. Just stay f***ing put! Frank suddenly forgets that he can shoot someone with that gun, which is disappointing, because if he didn't, he could have avoided this. The Jeep continues to survive this. They must be running low on ammunition. Otherwise, I don't see any reason for Quentin and the gang not to be shooting at them right now. None of these bullets seem to hit anything of consequence. And yeah, Punisher's wife manages to get herself and her son killed by overcorrecting an everyday vehicle swerve. Nice going, Mom.
Come on, baby! Get out of the car!
Jesus, they both live? The woman and child these guys want to murder are now on foot. Why not simply step out and start blasting? Man, it's taking a long time for the future main character's family to get slaughtered, considering it's necessary to the development of this character. I find it hard to believe that Frank shoots into the front of that truck and no one gets hurt, but for some reason it aggressively veers off into this building. Is the movie trying to tell me that he murdered the truck? They had no way of knowing that gun wouldn't fire, and totally should have shot him in the face. What the f*** are you doing? Okay, they shot him once, and then covered the entire dock in gasoline, then lit the dock on fire. But apparently they never checked his vitals after that 1 gunshot? Because they're on the water. If he's not dead, he can just roll into the water and escape your fire, which is exactly what I'm betting he's gonna do. See? Quentin doesn't also light himself on fire. He's got to have some gasoline on his hands and feet, given the way he was splashing it around all willy-nilly. Fireworks were also stored in that small building. How the literal f*** did he survive this? This is Marvel. They don't explicitly say he has any superpowers, but he has to have some form of super strength, right? Why would the FBI conclude Frank is dead without a body? And why would they call it gangland style when his family was run over by a truck and some people at his party were shot at? Is that the gang MO? The song says what the character is feeling.
I asked you to avenge our son, and you did.
So now let's have sex, because without the avenging of our son, that couldn't happen, apparently. Ah, fade to black, the inept director's best friend. Not the first we've seen of it in this movie, and surely not the last. Jesus, he was clean-shaven the night his family was killed. How the long has he been away to have a beard like this? Like 2 to 3 weeks? God, this movie is trying so hard to make me feel Frank's personal loss, it might as well be a Nicholas Sparks movie. Let's add no cuts to the hand to the list. The cops who cleared this mass murder scene left behind a case of easily accessible weapons. It's pretty convenient. This is the shirt he found, and not another shirt his son gave him. Number one dad would make for such a less menacing logo.
Vaya con Dios, Castle.
Is he going to walk back to Florida from Puerto Rico as a presumed dead man with no money or even clean clothes? These stupid bad guys are so sure they killed him with that one bullet they don't even stake out his known vehicle modification areas. Also, you killed my family, now I'm going to soup up a car. Also, the Fast and the Punisher, yes. Is proficiency in welding and engines one of his maybe superpowers too? Or did they cut out the scenes of the Punisher signing up for correspondence classes?
You are insignificant.
Whoa, sudden Ben Foster is sudden. The f*** did he come from? Overweight Italian guy is now eating pizza while making pasta. This may actually be racist.
He hasn't slept all week.
It's pretty convenient for Frank that he moved into a building with a woman who is a hotter version of his former wife. I understand he's pissed about his entire family getting murdered, but that doesn't excuse the reckless driving.
What's the torch for?
Guy who knows what the torch is for is just buying time, and in the process, he's bloating this film's runtime. The Punisher has both a sense of humor and a conscience, which makes him basically a shell of who his comic book self is supposed to be. Isn't the whole point of the Punisher his violent, righteous rage? First Wives Club had a more brutal interrogation scene. Also, is popsicle torture something you're taught, or something you know about inherently? I'm disappointed we didn't see a box of popsicles during the weapons prep montage.
He's killing someone, and we're next.
The filmmakers deemed it appropriate to have Frank Castle live in a building with cartoon characters.
I hate the Saints. All of them.
Mickey must be a Falcons fan.
Let's not forget Johnny Boy, the son you didn't kill. What a putz.
Well, he's a putz with underwear-free girls tiptoeing up on his ride, so, I'm just saying. In the grand scheme of avenging your family's murder, is dramatically ripping up your tombstone really that high on the list of necessities? So, Punisher somehow planted this tombstone message on the green at just the right time for Travolta alone to encounter it? Look, if he's omnipotent, there's no reason this movie should be over 2 hours long.
It's been 5 months since my family was killed. I don't see one man in jail.
Obviously, you're upset.
Like everyone else, they thought Frank was dead, yet this guy is completely glossing over that, and consoling him like he got into a minor fender bender in the parking lot. In a place with copious amounts of dirty money run by an extremely wealthy gangster type, there are no bodyguards or security cameras to prevent Frank from walking around this facility in plain view. I guess the black pleather trench coat really does work.
You know whose building this is?
For money laundering accountants, these guys are really bad at filling up a briefcase with money, which I would assume would be something you'd learn on the first day of Shady Accounting 101. All the people that presumably have a lot of money are outside clamoring for this money. I guess the filmmakers didn't want to make this too accurate with all the trashy homeless people coming out of the woodwork to participate. Did they take all the bills out of their packs of 10,000 before throwing it out the window? We should at least see one full pack of bills fall to the ground, right? These two presumably highly trained killers just stand there instead of shooting Frank or running away. Movie suddenly becomes a western, because being pissed about your family's murder equals sudden super quick draw skills. Duh. How is it that there were only 2 guys guarding the lobby of this building, and Frank was not immediately swarmed with henchmen who shoot him on the spot? He is in a f***ing Saints building that is also a bank.
We're not lucky. We are blessed.
Movie subjects me to this line twice. Also, why is Howard not giving his son and Quentin a harder time for not making sure he was f***ing dead in the first place?
This weather.
Yeah, just a little polluted, don't you think so?
I've seen hurricanes.
This movie can't even have a small talk without making it sound choppy and uncomfortable. Oh, I see. They share an apartment complex with Frank. That totally validates their screen time. Totally.
Dave's the one with all the metal, and Bumpo's the... Well, you can probably figure out which one Bumpo is.
That's racist.
Did you know?
No.
Why the f*** would she have known them? I mean, Tampa isn't a huge city, but I doubt she would be like, yeah, Maria would occasionally come out to the seedy part of town to buy drugs from Dave. Now showing the Buenos Dias Pablo Film Festival. The Good Day Pablo Film Festival? The f***? Who was on marquee duty last night? Cypress Hill, I'm looking in your direction. Frank Castle, movie's supposed protagonist, willfully parks in a handicap spot. Granted, he gets a ticket for it, but that doesn't remotely excuse the act itself. Movie still inexplicably cares about Frank's fellow apartment dwellers. What the f***? Who walks into a diner and just starts strumming their shit like this? I know it's a movie, but goddamn, this is some New York subway shit in a middle America diner. F*** off, movie. The only thing that would make this more cliche is if it was a lady pushing a stroller. Undead vigilante revenge assassin has a conscience, so you'll like him and forgive all the terrible he does.
You are one dumb son of a bitch. Bring a knife to a gunfight.
And you are one dumb son of a bitch for not just killing him at the diner, and for stealing that line from the Untouchables. There's zero traffic on this street. 2/3 of the way through, and his apartment neighbors are almost more fleshed out characters than he is. Also, this movie might mark the most tragic use of Ben Foster, which is saying something because he was in big trouble.
I know it's not Thanksgiving, but I'd like us to all say what we're thankful for.
Do we all get to participate? I'm thankful that this movie will eventually be over.
Thanks for Diet Pepsi.
So is the budget supervisor on this movie. John Stamos and Jerry O'Connell both struggle to watch this film because of how terrible it is. Why is it that when we see her face, they are inches away from kissing, and when we see his face, they are further away from each other? I guess she keeps quickly moving backwards and forwards between shots. Wow, he's almost out of... Well, I guess we're going to the liquor store then, no? What the actual am I watching? Russian Where's Waldo is a lot easier to find. This guy is on all the drugs to not feel that knife stab even a little bit. Frank waits until he gets stabbed to get resourceful. Frank takes this lull in the fight as an opportunity to stand and stare instead of defending himself or running the away. How has this Russian guy not killed Frank yet? Granted, that would be the end of the movie, and even though that would be a sweet relief for us all, it would make a pretty shitty ending. But this fight is now the freakishly muscular giant Russian equivalent of playing with your food. Ladies and gentlemen, this movie is now a Tom and Jerry cartoon. All that prep work to have that gun there for this. He's still not dead yet. So stab wounds won't slow him down, but a pot of hot water and a fall down the stairs will kill him. Hilariously, these three are the only ones in the entire apartment complex who heard any of that. Frank guzzles an entire bottle of whiskey or rum or whatever. The point is he should die from that, let alone his battle wounds. Also, Frank the Tank Castle, am I right?
Where? There's no place to go.
Small lever ex machina.
What do we do?
Wow, an ass cheek assist even. For shame, movie.
Where's Castle?
Even though they knew where to find Frank, they didn't send a group of guys with guns to kill him. They sent a comically large yet ineffective Russian to slap him around a little.
I'm not saying
By saying this, and not, I have no idea what you're talking about, Dave reveals that he is withholding information. Dave, the drug addict, has a surprising amount of willpower to protect a man he barely knows.
If they knew, they would have talked. They must not have known.
Okay, a few things. Dave clearly knew something, i.e. I'm not telling you and Quentin is being inexplicably merciful to these two guys. Why wouldn't he just kill them to tie up loose ends? Every shirt Frank wears is just begging to come off. Frank must have thought, yeah, I have a gun in this drawer, but this paper cutter will be a lot more fun.
Why are you ready to die for me? You're one of us.
What the does this mean? Is there some sort of fraternity mentality behind living in this apartment complex for a few days? Wait, Frank, don't you need to first?
Say you kill them all. Then what? What makes you any different from them?
They have something to lose.
But also, they're murderers, and you're a vigilante murderer, which is different even if it's just as wrong. And it might be worth arguing the difference.
You have a key for Quentin's house?
Sure, I have it loose in my pocket here.
Need help with some underpants, sir?
This is one of the things they teach you not to say when you work at a clothing store. Just putting that earring somewhere with the hopes that Howard will find it is another real gamble on Frank's part. But not only does Howard find it, he basically walks right to it.
Don't do this.
Come on, Quentin. He is well into the middle of doing this.
Howard, there's an explanation.
Is there? I mean, there is, but you sure as hell don't know about it.
That would be a little hard to accomplish, Howard.
That was nice of her to say something that doesn't make any sense to set him up for Quentin's death reveal.
Howard, you're not making any sense!
What the is going on? Am I wrong, or has this Punisher movie's climax devolved into a sort of villain's Days of Our Lives here? Where's the punishing? Did he have a train schedule to time this out, or is it as coincidental as I think it is?
50,000 apiece, and 50,000 more to the man who kills him. If you accept this money, you're in till it's over.
And we didn't start with this because the movie would be too short. So to fill time, they sent Looney Tunes characters after him.
Where's Quentin? Oh, well, he's wrapped up in something.
Man, his pun skills are on point. It's too bad he and Frank are enemies. Howard could really teach him something. Why is he doing this in what looks like a public park? Did he finally get evicted for all the damage he caused to that building? It's nice of these guys to all just get up one at a time and try and shoot him. It makes it easier for him to take them all down than if they were all to get up and shoot at once.
You killed my son.
To be fair, no, he didn't. He was just there when the FBI killed your son. Did he put those wires there to tie him up? Or does every limo have wires like that behind the bumper? I legitimately don't know. Movie ends with gratuitous explosions because f*** you. Could he not just use the giant hole in the wall? Overexposed flashback of his dead wife suddenly gives him the will to live. For some reason.
Frank Castle is dead. Call me the Punisher.
Roll credits. They are actually rolling credits. Excellent.
You know whose money this is? You know whose building this is?
You have any idea who you're stealing from? You and your friends are dead!
I just want my kids back.
So very old one. So like the wind!
Won't last long, but an insulting song. Burns will always carry with